Brendan, I wonder if you might be able to update us on Steven Gerrard's fitness and whether he'll be involved on Sunday.
We've still got a couple of days to go yet with Steven. He's obviously with the rehabilitation team, so we'll assess it next couple of days.
A big talking point this week has been the issue of spitting. It's punishment as well in relation to dangerous tackles. I just wondered if you had any thoughts on it and whether you think an automatic 6-game ban is right.
It's certainly something that isn't right in football, or in any social life, professional life, but certainly in a football field. It's not the example that we want to, when young kids are watching and people are watching the telly, it's certainly something that's not on and should never be anywhere near a football field.
One from our stats department. Only 55% of winning teams in the Premier League this season have enjoyed more possession than their opposition. And I just wondered whether having the ball was less important than it used to be.
No, I think what's important is dangerous possession. We always look to focus on that element of how we work here. You can still dominate a game and control a game, but not have the ball. But if you asked your statisticians and the people in your analytical team to look into when a team takes the lead, you'll find that the percentage automatically drops off. You normally find that teams that are winning games drop off in their percentage level of football and possession when they go in front, and that's natural in a football game. Managers and coaches will tell you you can want to dominate the game, but you can be 3-4-0 up in a game and actually then have less possession. So maybe get them to have a look at that. What's the stats whenever a team goes in front? Because that may look to be different.
And just one more from me. Luis Suarez coming back for the charity game. Just wondered how much you're looking forward to seeing him back playing at Anfield.
Be great. No, we've kept in contact since he's been away, so he's obviously a top-class player. But he loved his time here at Liverpool, and he was always wanting to come back. He's obviously got something internationally, but he's making every effort of his own back to come back. So it'll be brilliant to see him, and be great for the supporters that turn up.
Thank you.
Brendan, you said that you're assessing Steven over the next few days, but he's got quite a battle to get back in this team, hasn't he, the way that you're playing?
Well, every player, I think it's, the team's playing very well. But it'll be important just to get Steven back, as I said, and available for selection. That's the most important element. But like you say, the team is functioning very well.
Jordan Henderson's one of those players who's standing out at the moment. He's equalled his Premier League assists record in the season. He's scoring a lot of goals. Do you think he's in his best moment of his career at the moment?
Well, his stature as a footballer has grown all the time, and that's because of his performance level. As you say, he assists goals, he scores goals, and for me, he's just improving every single day I see him. Just watching him play, and tactically his understanding of different systems, different way of working is developing, and he's really going to go on over the next few years, and he really is. He's a first-class footballer, but I think at a big club he's going to go on and show what a real top player that he is.
This game, obviously, in the FA Cup, Liverpool favourites for it, being at home against the Championship side, but how wary do you have to be of Blackburn? They've obviously already knocked out 2 Premier League sides this season.
Yeah, very much so. I think Gary's done an outstanding job since he's gone in there. He's had a similar sort of pathway to myself in terms of working in youth development, so he understands football clubs from the top to the bottom. And he's gone in there in very, very difficult circumstances and stabilised the club, and got everyone sort of on the same pathway, really. And I think he's done an outstanding job. His team will come. They'll be hoping to work well. They've obviously got their first win away from home. I think it was over 4 months during the week in the league, so that'll give them confidence. But for us, we'll give them the same respect as we'll give Manchester City or any other team. It's a big game. We have made it clear our intent in this competition, which was to get to the final and win it. And to do that, you've got to beat different types of teams and different styles of teams. And Blackburn will come and obviously look to make it difficult for us.
Thank you.
Just on Suarez, you saying it'd be great for him to be back. He didn't really have a chance to say goodbye, did he, to the fans here? So that's an opportunity as well for him to show his appreciation.
Yeah, listen, he loves Liverpool whilst he was here, and he's gone. He took the opportunity to go to another country and plays football, but he's certainly adored here at Liverpool. The supporters loved having him here, and every time he stepped onto a training pitch and the football field for the team, he gave everything. And this is what any supporters, in particular Liverpool supporters, appreciate. So it'd be nice for him to run out and into the game. He'd probably want to win that game as well.
And on this weekend, I mean, there has been suggestions about, is a top four finish as good as winning a trophy with the FA Cup opportunity that you have as well, and a possibility of a top four finish? Is that an opinion you share? Is it just as good?
For us, you've got to look at the different phases that we've been in as a team in my time here. When I came in the first year, the club had finished 8th, and I needed to define a style of football. And when I came in the first year, the priority was to try to move us up the league whilst defining a style of football. To win a trophy is always difficult when you're trying to do that with a very, very shallow squad. So the first year was about that integration. The second year, we didn't have European football with a stable squad, and we added a few players, and that allowed us to then go. And the objective then for that year, and I said at the time we'd be better in the second year, would be to get into the Champions League. And we nearly won the league. Then at the end of last season, the team was broken up. We near enough went back into the phase of the first year, where it was integrating new players, a lot of new players, redefining the style of how we work. But I felt that then there was still the depth of squad for us to be able to challenge for trophies then. And that's what we've looked to do in the cup competitions. Admittedly, Europe wasn't good for us, but that's something that we'll be better in for sure the next time. But certainly in the domestic cup competitions, the League Cup, we were unfortunate not to make the final. And in the FA Cup, as you can see, we're giving everything we can to win a trophy, whilst trying to fight to get into the top 4. So the objective is very much clear: arrive in as high as we possibly can, not just 4th, as high as we can, and to win a trophy. And if we can do that, that'll be success.
Along those lines of redefining the squad, the fact that this season you've managed to get such a solid base at the back, is that one of the most satisfying things for you personally? The fact that even the last season was so great, perhaps one of the criticisms that was aimed at your team was that you did often leak a few goals.
Yeah, I think what's pleasing is the poor goals we've stopped conceding. You know, our method of play is very much based on aggressive pressure. And for that, you limit teams to not so many opportunities. When that doesn't function well, and then you concede poor goals, then that was the key for us. I thought we made too many mistakes. But I think it's clear, and you can see how we've been playing for the last 3 months. There's a better balance to the team. Players are comfortable in the team. And as I said, with and without the ball, collectively, we're much stronger.
Is Wembley, getting to Wembley, is that a big carrot for the players in your team?
Not really. One in the final would be. People say getting to Wembley for the semi-final is about, well, not really. It's winning and getting to the final is the priority. In many ways, I wish it wasn't at Wembley, because I think it takes away a little bit from it. You know, for me, Wembley should be the ultimate game, the final game, and you know, you arrive there to win the final. But of course, it's a great opportunity if we do go through to play a game at Wembley, and I certainly wouldn't turn it down.
Brendan, you have improved defensively, as you mentioned. Last year, one of the things you were successful at was scoring quite a lot from set pieces, perhaps not so much this year where Martin was getting in the box and scoring. Is that something you're working on trying to get back to?
Yeah, we'd make continual work on that. We obviously, as you say, he was the top scoring defender last year for set pieces. We're very creative. We look to find lots of ways of which, you know, if you actually watch our set pieces, you'll see a lot of variety from game to game, and different ways to try and work away into the box. But it's something that's continual and something that you have to always find ways to score a goal. And I've always said to players the importance of that for us, because Champions Leagues can be won on set pieces and corners. So it's certainly important on your week-to-week football that you concentrate on that. And we've got real good dead ball specialists that deliver good balls, and it's about people going to attack it, getting the first contact as often as possible. So that's just something that's ongoing.
Brendan, you spoke earlier about the challenge every player has of getting inside, but what sort of challenge have you got managing sort of Stephen's return and him trying to get in the team? Because obviously having Farton on the bench will be significant for somebody like him.
It probably would be for other people, but it's certainly not for me, and it wouldn't be for Stephen. He's very much a team player. If he was on the bench because the team was in good form and playing well, I think everyone respects that. There's nobody in the squad has a God-given right to walk straight into the team. I think I've shown in my time over here that, if players are performing well, irrespective of status or price, they play. Simple as that. But for me, the most important thing in the first case is having Stephen available. He's an outstanding player still, and to have him back will make our squad a better squad.
How difficult do you think it'd be for him if he has to see out the final 3 months of his Liverpool career, spending a lot of time?
Well, I think you're trying to forecast and make a story here where there's no story. He's not fit yet, so we just need to get him back. And then if that was something, then you would need to ask Stephen. But let's see how the season pans out and then review it then.
After last week, then finally, there's been a lot of comparisons between Jordan and the week he's had, and comparisons with Stephen. But I guess it's important to point out that he's a different player, a different person to Stephen, and is not going to be a like replacement.
No, totally different. Stephen's one of the best players of all time in the Premier League. I've said before, there's no comparison. Jordan's a young guy who's a wonderful talent, wonderful player, different type of player, really. Stephen's one of the greats of the game, with all due respect, and somebody that I said that we would be irreplaceable. We'll find different ways and different types of players, but I think you should stop trying to put pressure on a young player like Jordan Henderson. Because he takes a corner and Steven Gerrard takes a corner doesn't mean he's the new Steven Gerrard. Because he shoots from outside the box doesn't mean he's the new Steven Gerrard. He's Jordan Henderson. He's creating his own career, his own headlines, and as I said, he's vice captain. He's got a wonderful role model in Steven that he looks at, and rightly so. But I would ask every young player to follow Steven Gerrard by example, because he's an incredible professional and as I said, an incredible football player.